Inyz just turned on by herself. Hello, Starlit Souls. No. Hello, Starlit Souls. I hope you have all been keeping well. I'm back. I've been here the whole time, but I've been growing, expanding, just reaching new horizons within myself, and sometimes that just takes a little bit of retreating inward, that like hermit mode energy. I've been in this like cocoon of healing, but I'm feeling ready to reemerge from this cocoon now. So today's video, I'm so excited because I'm going to introduce you to all 12 of my dragon guides. In a previous video I did, I introduced you to 3 of my dragon guides, and over the course of the summer, I have finally met all 12 of my guides. I wanted to tell you the story of how I met them, how they came to me, and how they show up in my life. And I want to give you an idea of what each of them are like, because they are here to help all of humanity, not just me. They love to connect with people. So I am here to share this information about them so that you can call them into your life if you want to, so that they can start making miracles in your life like they have in mine. I'm trying to remember the first time I was conscious of my dragon guides. So I started receiving signs from my guides before I even knew that I had dragon guides. So I would just see repeated signs, and over and over and over, I would see like a name, and I'd see it like maybe 100 times in a 1-month span. And I'd be like, why is this name popping out at me? And then over time, everything started to make more sense. I also started tracking all of the synchronicities that I was receiving in a synchronicity journal, which is so magical. And if you are interested in this journey of discovering how magical life truly is, I really do recommend that you start your own synchronicity journal. Maybe I'll do a whole video on how to do that. It starts with you just being aware of the signs and not knowing what they mean. And that in itself is almost, it stops people from like pursuing this journey before they even start. Because to notice the signs, you have to on some level believe that it's a sign. Otherwise, you're just going to ignore it and just say that it's a coincidence, or, you're just going to brush it off. So you need to have this belief that this is what is happening, that you are becoming conscious of these signs and symbols in your reality, of these repeated signs and symbols. And that, on some level, it's not a coincidence, because that would be a lot of coincidence. Like I said, I would see the same name hundreds of times in a month. And I started to realize that that's just because that's how powerful my mind is. Because I kept noticing this name, I'll say the first name. It was Mason. It was my first dragon that ever introduced himself to me, was Mason. As I started saying his name and becoming aware of this name in my energy, I started to feel a personality behind the name. And then I think it started with, I have a creation journal that I talk about in some of my videos. I just started this creation journal on a whim. I have a really big imagination, very active, wild, huge, fantastical imagination that I love and I'm so thankful for. And so I just sat down and was like, I'm going to create a new book, a new journal of creation. The words are alive. Everything in this book is magical, and it is because I intend it to be. Within maybe 10 pages into the book, Mason popped in, and in my head, I was just like, Mason's my dragon, and the name just clicked. But I've met 12 of my guides now, and how I met every single one is starting to get a little fuzzy. It's all just blending into one big dragon family, essentially. So I'm going to introduce you to my dragons. Let's start with, first of all, I made cue cards for each of them because it helps me. There's 12 of them. It's like Jesus had 12 disciples. So they're like 12 new friends that I have to learn about, and that can help me achieve certain things. They all have different tasks, and they're all here to help me with different aspects of my life and of the world that we live in. So I wrote down things about them that came to me. Or I would pull tarot cards and tell them to explain their personality to me and talk to me through the cards. And then I would jot down notes about what their purpose is in my life and their role as one of my guides. So the first place, the first card that I'll show you is not a dragon, but this is the land where my dragon guides come from, is the land of Terra. And what's funny about this, when I saw the words, I had already met 3 of my dragons, Mason, Strawberry, and Bluebird, before I knew where they were from. And then I started to see signs for the name Terra and pineapple. And I was like, are these new dragons? So, I sat with it for a few days because that's what you do. That's how our intuition works. When you are on this spiritual quest of self-discovery, everything unravels over time. So right away, things won't be instant, but the more you do this and the more you build your belief, the more quicker that you will receive signs or you will receive evidence of the thoughts that you were having, reflecting back to you in the outer world. So I started seeing signs for the word Terra, and it was spelt like this. Literally, it was spelled Terra, and I know that that means earth. And then it just came to me in my head. I put the 2 words together and I said Terra pine. And then it was like earth pine. It translates to earth pine. I just got this image in my head of a beautiful, beautiful place with mountains and the tallest pine trees you've ever seen, where my dragon guides live and fly around, and they sit themselves on the highest peaks of those trees and mountains, and they oversee everything from up there. And that's just where, that's their home. That's where they go when I'm not here conjuring them. That's where they are. This is where they reside, in the land of Terra Pine. Now, is this simply a figment of my imagination? Maybe, but if you know what your imagination actually is, and you know that it's a conscious tool to reach these higher realms, then you know that Terra Pine is a place that actually exists somewhere out there in the galaxies, in other dimensions, wherever it is. I don't believe that what is right in front of me in this world is all that there is. I believe that there's a lot that we cannot see on the current vibration or energy that we're in right now in this world. But soon we're going to see it all. It's going to take time, but we're going to see it all. It's going to be magical. Okay, so my dragons are from the land of Terra Pine. All right. Now, the next thing I'll do is I will show you the postcard that I would say to my dragons. I've been saying this to them every night for the last 4 or 5 months, maybe even longer. It could have been since April, since my birthday. But I wrote this. I made this just on a little piece of Bristol board, and I put the return label Commander Hat because they call me Commander. And then I put where I am, London, Ontario, Canada, on planet Earth. And it says, to my dragons and guides of light, images that made me think of them or that just helped me connect to their energy at first when I knew less about them. They unravel themselves over time. That's just how it works. So on the back, I have the prayer that I would read to them. And I'll tell you the prayer because why not? Spread the love. More joy and love and light in this world is what is needed. So right now I'm going to say my dragon prayer. I want everyone to take a few breaths. To my dragons and guides of light, I ask that I be escorted to an etheric retreat that is ideally suited to me. I ask that my physical body be taken to a rejuvenation or healing chamber, whichever is recommended for me on this night. I claim protection and love as I travel astrally through multidimensional timelines and realities, gathering information as I sleep that will assist my journey. Upon waking, may I remember the adventures, messages, and clues of this night, so that I may consciously merge 2 worlds into one and free myself from 3D illusion. May I awaken well-rested, energized, and refreshed, aligned to my highest potential for the day ahead, for the highest good of all. May heaven and peace on earth be restored. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just as I said that, my stomach let out a huge growl. So I'm going to go eat some food quickly. We need fuel to channel these energies. See, food really does serve a purpose. We shouldn't be so scared of it. Okay, I'm back. Sorry that the lighting is a little different now. It's now dusk and the sun is gone, and I just have candles and lights all around me. So, back to the video. I have eaten, I am grounded, and ready to film the rest of this video. Okay, so the first dragon that I will introduce you to, I also would like to note that they introduced themselves to me in groups of 3. So the first dragon of my team is Mason. So this is the dragon that I had actually tracked in my synchronicity journal that was sending me signs up to 2 years ago. I was not on this journey of at least knowing that I was consciously talking to my guides at that point. I didn't have enough belief in myself yet at that point in my journey to actually think that I could communicate with my higher guides. So I just started tracking all the signs that I was receiving in a journal and figuring, maybe they'll make more sense over time, which essentially they always do. That's why it's a great idea to have a synchronicity journal. So Mason was the first dragon that introduced himself to me. And I have these colors on his card, this sage green color, because that is the color that I associate with him. And then you'll kind of see I have a name and I have a familial association. So I've given them roles because they are a family. They're my dragon family, but they all are a family of dragons. So to better understand the type of energy that they that they bring, I just assigned them, roles in the family. So Mason, because he was the first dragon that contacted me or that I at least became conscious of his name. He's the one that in the synchronicity journal, I was randomly thinking of the Kardashian kids' names. And I was North, Mason, True. And then I jotted that in my synchronicity journal because later that day I was at my friend's house and I picked up a jar in his kitchen to bring it to the recycling. But while it was in my hand, I turned it over and I just read the word Mason. I mean, it was a mason jar, but it's still just the fact that it said Mason on it. And then I had already had the thought about Mason, the name Mason, earlier in the day. And then later that day I was playing a game on my phone and the name Mason popped up a 3rd time. And that's another thing about them is they love the number 3 so much that they'll send you 3 signs in a row to confirm that they're sending you signs. And so again, how they introduce themselves to me in groups of 3, I don't know what it is with the number 3. That's just how you'll know that it's them. You'll see 333 or the number 33. So yes, Mason. So I associate him with the sailboat image in my mind. He is the one who sets me on my navigational seas. I've definitely said this in another video, but he charts my course and he's the one that he works higher up behind the scenes, but he's always there when I need him. He was very present in getting my attention to be hey, you have a team of dragons. We're right here. That was, I think, his goal was to get my attention. He was the one that I communicated with first. So he's just he's the captain. That's what I call him. He's the first one that I knew was the captain. And then he instantly called me commander in return when I acknowledged that he was the captain. So just a really special bond and relationship to me. I'm going to stop holding the card up. So the number that I associate with him is number 1. He is the father dragon. So it just brings that energy of a nurturing provider, someone who can see the bigger picture and who's doing the planning behind the scenes so that I don't have to worry about a thing. Kind of like the roles that the fathers take in our lives. So the color that I associate with him is sea green, this beautiful green color here, color of the sea. He goes by nicknames Max. Max is a very popular nickname. He actually prefers to be called Max, but I call him Mason. If he's taking female form or if aspects of him are showing up in the feminine, he goes by Madison, and then Captain, which I already noted. Signs that he sends me are anything to do with the ocean, compass, treasure chest, anchors, feathers representing the open air, the open sky, birds, eagles specifically, and his specialties and areas of interest. He has a very gentle energy, so he adjusts my sails as needed. like that loving fatherly energy, not a controlling, manipulative energy, a loving, understanding energy, a very wise and loving father type of energy who just wants the best for me. That's the energy that I perceive him in. He is an explorer. He loves exploring, and that's why he's always helping me out with the bigger picture, because I can't always see it from down here. So he'll send me snapshots, and that's how I know that, you know, certain decisions that I need to make or things that I need to do will pop into my head. Things that I need to know, he'll send me images. He really charts the course of my imagination. Like, I mean, I get lost inside my mind. And I feel like he's the one kind of taking me on that journey sometimes, when sometimes I'll just stare into space for like 10 minutes. And while I'm here staring into space, I'm on a whole adventure. And so I feel like he's the one that's safely leading me there as I travel out of body consciously. He is all about leadership and pioneering of new worlds, which is why he's helping me, because I am trying to help anchor heaven on earth. As I said in my dragon prayer at the beginning of this, he can help me with that. Him and his whole family will help me with that. He is responsible and helps and assists with the releasing of old timelines and coming into divine flow, following the rhythms and the currents of the energies that we're working with each day. He always has to remind me about patience, because I have a patient side, because I am Taurus, the bull, which is the energy of like, oh, I'll do it in my own time. But I also have Aries rising, which is a really like persistent need to do it now and manifest it now energy. So there's a good balance that I have to like live with every day of like aligning myself. You just have to keep your eye on the prize. So my Aries rising, I have my eye on the prize, and that it will not leave my vision, this prize in my mind. You know, this image of the new world, that's the prize, this prize that we can all share in and we can all create together, co-create together. And this Aries rising in me that's like, I want it, I want it, I want it. And then the Taurus side of me that's like, it will come. Just keep believing and don't stop. Don't ever stop. He really helps to keep me in that mindset of just patience. It's all about timing. Paths may change and shift, but my purpose only becomes more clear as I surrender and trust myself. These are notes that I wrote when I was channeling him, when I was doing this like introductory little activity with him. He comes with me on journeys, expeditions, traveling, and pilgrimages. I've never been on a pilgrimage. I guess you could say I've been on a soul pilgrimage, like in my mind, but not a physical one. So he's the one that has been assisting me with that. He has knowledge and experience of one who sees the bigger picture, like that captain sitting up there in that captain's nest or whatever you call it. Fearlessness, be bold, take risks. These are things that he reminds me to do, and energies that he reminds me to embody. Is that if you want to manifest your dreams in this world, sometimes you have to be a little crazy. You have to go beyond the limitations and the boundaries that this world says exists to explore it for yourself, because otherwise you're never going to find it, and you're just going to keep living in like this imprisonment inside your mind because you don't know that there's anything else out there, and it's not your fault, but you have to take those first steps. Like, we're born into this system to break ourselves out of it, literally. And then I made a note here that says his messages make more sense as time goes on, and he can be cryptic. And that's so true, because like with how he introduced himself to me, how for 2 years I just saw the name Mason everywhere, and I was like, who the fuck is Mason? Like, who is this Mason person? And then when I started my creation journal, it all just flowed. And when I started writing to my dragons and discovering that, you know, I want to start communicating to this team of dragons, Mason was the first name that popped into my mind. And I was like, Mason is my dragon. It all clicked and made sense. And then from there, 11 more came in, and it was just, it's changed my world. So I want to share this energy with you because it's so magical, and I think it can change the entire world, not just my world, the whole world. So that is Mason. I'm going to pull a card from this dragon deck that I have from Diana Cooper. And it's called Dragon Oracle Cards. And I'm going to see what message Mason would like to bring into your awareness. So we're going to shuffle these quickly. One card is already trying to jump out. But I'm like, no, I haven't shuffled yet. Shuffle 3 times just for them. Look what dragon just popped out. The water dragon. Any of the dragons can come through for this message with Mason here. Oh, that was only twice. We're going to do once more. Oh my gosh. What? All these green dragons coming up. That is so funny. Mason, what's message do you have for anyone watching this video right now? Oh, the aquamarine dragon from Neptune. You could say that aquamarine is sea green. I mean, aqua is like the color of the ocean. So let me see what his message is with this card. Okay, so Mason wants you to know that in the coming days, there may be an expanding of your psychic abilities or your psychic sensitivities. You may find that your emotions are going to be really intense. So this is just a really intense time that we're all going through right now. It looks like Mason wants to tell you that this is all going to be happening for your highest good and to bring you in alignment with your true self, your true path. So if you've ever thought in your head, you know, maybe I have this ability, maybe I'm an energy healer, maybe I'm telepathic. These insights that you've had are going to start strengthening and calling at you more. And you're going to start following your curiosity and researching things to look further into it and to learn more about yourself and about the things that are calling you. So that is the message that Mason has for you today. And that is from the aquamarine dragon from Neptune via Mason, via me. The second dragon that introduced herself to me is Strawberry. And Strawberry is so special to me. So her role in this dragon family is the energy of little sister dragon. And I carry this energy with me because I am the youngest in my family. I have 2 older siblings. And so I carry this little sister energy with me. And so I connect with Strawberry on such a deep level. She's very active in my day-to-day life. Oh, I love her so much. She's just filling me with so much love and joy right now. She loves to read, things that I associate with her. Obviously, fruit, summertime, strawberry. She's very sassy. She's very sweet. I call her the creative free spirit, like how I call Mason the captain. I call her the creative free spirit. Strawberry is that energy of like, you have a 4-year-old and you've set out their outfit for the day, for like they have to go to daycare, and you've put their outfit on their bed and you're like, okay, honey, go change into your clothes. And your little 4-year-old is stomping her foot on the ground. She's going to her closet and she's pulling down clothes that she wants to wear. That is the energy of Strawberry. Like, she is so sassy. She's very sweet. Oh, she absolutely has her sweet moments, but she's super sassy. And this is why I love her. And this is why I connect with her so well. And she's such an amazing guide because she surprises me with all the signs that she sends me. And one of the ways that she speaks to me a lot is through books. So I always find books that are connected to her in when I go thrifting. So like one time recently this summer, I went to a used bookstore or Value Village or something like that. And I found this spiritual book called, okay, I actually went into my Goodreads and checked what the book was called. And it's called Guiding Yourself into a Spiritual Reality by Tolly and Peggy Birkin. And I can't remember if I opened the book up in the store. No, I'm pretty sure I brought it home and opened it up. And then I was sitting on my couch. And as I started flipping through it, before every chapter, there were 13 chapters in this book. And before every chapter, there's just a picture of a strawberry. And it was just so magical. And then the last page of that book talks about the 100th monkey phenomenon, which is amazing because I wrote a book called The Lighthouse. And the last chapter of my book talks about the monkey phenomenon as well. So yeah, it was just an amazing synchronicity set up by Strawberry. She also, like, she's just so in your face that she just wants me to know that she's there. And she never wants me to second guess that it's her. Like, that's how in your face and sassy she is. She's like, I'm going to send you a sign and you're going to know it's me and not any of the other 11 dragon guides in this family. And then there was another instance where I was thrifting again, and it was like way back in, I think, June, when we had a strawberry supermoon, and there was just a bunch of strawberry synchronicities. So I was like, okay, obviously my dragon Strawberry is trying to communicate with me, but I don't know what she's trying to communicate. But then I got the thought that I wanted to go thrifting because I wanted to look for magazines for a project I was working on, probably my creation journal. And I went to a thrift store that I had already been at 2 weeks prior. So I wasn't going to look at the books, but I did anyway. And I found this book called The Little Book of Dragons, Finding Your Spirit Guide. So when stuff like this happens to you, it's just becomes your life, and it's like, it's my normal. So while it may seem crazy or outlandish or like that I'm nuts and belong in an insane asylum to you, this is my normal. And so this is completely normal to me, and it enables me to live in this reality that we're in right now, while also, you know, reaching into other realities, but staying grounded in this reality, because this is the world that I came here to change. And it's just been a journey of reaching up and grasping knowledge and insights from higher dimensions to use that knowledge and bring it down here and ground it onto this planet that needs healing. So Strawberry, little sister dragon, the creative free spirit, she's my number 2. This is her card. So cute. Her color is magenta or hot pink. And nicknames she goes by are Sophia, Stacy, Berry Boss. Her signs are strawberries, summer, juicy. Sometimes in tarot, she'll pop out by sending me the star card, which is funny because I just pulled a tarot spread before this and that card popped out. So she's saying hi. I have to keep stopping this video because there are so many sirens in this city. All right. Sending love and peace and help to anyone who requires it. Sounds like the city's falling apart. Okay, back to Strawberry. So her specialties and areas of interest, activating passions and igniting spirit, igniting the inner spark and unfoldment of one's path. She helps with inspiration, creativity, and oversees all of my creative projects. That's why she's always sending me information in the form of books, because she knows I'm a writer and I love to write and read. So that's one of the ways that she communicates very strongly with me. She ensures the success and safe birth of all of my creations. And I touch my heart when I'm like talking about her. I just love her so much. She helps me to follow my joy and bliss, like singing my own rainbow soul song. Always tells me to believe in myself. Like, she's just so sassy and confident in who I am that when she's around me, I feel how powerful I truly am. And she just helps like ignite me. She helps ignite me. That's really the best way to put it. She helps me to take risks that align with my path, and she always supports my visions. And she connects well with children and my inner child. And what's funny is when I told one of my best friends about Strawberry, my friends are very open for the most part to this stuff because this is just who I am. And I'm a very cool, fun person to be around. So I have a lot of friends that just accept me and all the weird shit that I'm into. When I was telling my one friend about my 3 dragons, I was only telling her about Strawberry, Bluebird, and Mason, because those were the only 3 I was aware of at this time. But I told her about Strawberry. She had just like went to the washroom with her daughter before she was driving home, and she poked her head back outside to tell us that when her daughter was washing her hands, she started randomly singing a song about strawberries. So it's just the way that she loves to connect with us is through children, and children are so psychic because they don't have the limitations yet in their minds that we have in ours. They're more innocent and pure and open to receiving this energy because they're not scared of it. So they'll just welcome it. It's like imaginary friends. They're not imaginary. And she helps me with my writing projects for the most part. Most of my creative projects are writing projects. So that is what she helps me with. But yes, I love Strawberry. She's my little ray of sunshine, that little sister energy that I connect with so well. Probably my soul sister. So very special to me. They're all special to me. But okay, so we're going to get a message from Strawberry now. What does Strawberry want to bring into your awareness? Strawberry, what message do you have for the collective that's watching this right now? Strawbizzle. This one. And you got the green gold dragon from Sirius. Now, it says, learn about spiritual technology. Be a transmitter of sacred knowledge. And the most technological device that we all have access to in this entire universe is our mind. And no one knows that our consciousness is actually a piece of technology. So this card, Strawberry, is asking you to start digging through that pathway in your mind of all those doubts and negative thoughts that come up, and just start zapping them. Just be like, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. You're not welcome here. Peace out, leave my mind. You have that power. And once you start realizing, oh, wow, I do this, and you feel lighter and you start waking up and those thoughts come to visit you less, and you realize, oh, it's because I have taken responsibility for the content inside my mind. And now that I know how to heal my mind, I can start planting seeds of things that I actually do want to manifest in my life. And that's how this all happens. That's how you start to learn more about who you are, how powerful your mind is. But you have to take those steps. You have to fight through those negative thoughts that tell you this is all bullshit, or whatever it is, that little doubtful voice in your mind, that's telling you to click off this video or whatever it is. Zap it. Tell it to shut the fuck up. Tell it you like my vibe and you're interested to hear what I have to say. Okay? So, yeah, learn about the power of your own mind, especially with this eclipse time, showing like maybe something coming to light, like Earth's shadows, skeletons coming out of the closet. This could be symbolic of your mind emptying itself of negative thoughts to bring in higher loving vibrations that you're more aligned with, or that are more aligned with your path, the path that you actually want to pursue. So thank you, Strawberry. We have 10 more dragons to get through. We're going to do this. We're going to be up all night, but it's going to be fine. It's fine. We'll have fun. The third dragon that introduced himself to me is Bluebird. Bluebird, I also call him Blueberry, but Bluebird, to distinguish him from Strawberry because they're brother and sister, he likes to be referred to more as Bluebird. Blueberry is more like a nickname for him. So I call him Big Brother Dragon, or to me, he would be like, we're just going to stick with Big Brother Dragon because the other connection that I have with him is a little bit more personal. Tagline that I have for him is the Timeless Charmer. He is associated with the number 3. And his color is royal blue. Nicknames are Blueberry, Beau, like Beeau, the name Beau. Beaumont, sometimes I'll see that name and I know that it's him speaking to me. Or Blake. Signs that he sends me are blue jays, bluebirds, tigers, wolves, winter, like the season, crows, spiders, skunks, Aladdin, number 17, and specialties and areas of interest with Bluebird. He is with me to make all of my wishes and dreams come true. That's why one of his signs is Aladdin, because I kind of refer to him as my genie. He is just every wish of my heart's desire is his command. He's my miracle maker. So we've lived many lives together. He is helping me with my mission to bring love to this world via me, a conscious vessel. And I am his brightest star. This is what he tells me. The light of all lights, and he is honored to serve me in this way. I'm not reading everything on the cards because some of it is a little personal. He says, So his mottos are literally what Gaia wants, Gaia gets. Me, I'm Gaia. We are all walking embodiments of Gaia. And your wish is my command. Those are things that he loves to say when I'm trying to manifest. He's just family from the stars and a love that lives beyond worlds, words, and time. It's very special to me. He is really teaching me a lot about intimacy with myself and just teaching me how to have a healthy, loving relationship and value myself so that I can invite that energy to physically come in and manifest in my life in physical form, so that I can stop calling dragons my boyfriend. That's why I call him the timeless charmer, because when I envision him, I just envision him with this like long blonde hair that I run my fingers through and bright blue eyes and just this beautiful Prince Charming type of energy. And so whenever I channel him, I'm just instantly connecting to that energy of my soulmate. And even though I can't see him, as soon as I connect to his energy, I just feel it. And I know that, I am loved and I am safe. And when it is meant to come in, it will come in. So let's see what message Bluebird has for you. Bluebird, what message would you like to give the collective that is watching this? What message, Bluebird, would you like to give? Earth and air dragon represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Manifest your hopes and dreams. So Bluebird is essentially saying that he would also like to help make all of your wishes come true. And he wants you to call on him. He wants you to call on his beautiful eagle-like energy. He's very elegant, very regal, and charming. So when he starts sending you signs, you'll feel very loved by the signs that he sends you. And the fact that you're aware that he's communicating to you, you'll feel very special. So it's just saying ground your visions. So it's saying now is a perfect time to work with these guides. Take the energy from this video and pour it out onto your life in whatever form that is. Just do things that will make inspiration flow in you so that we can create more heaven on this earth, because that's what this planet needs right now. This planet, I don't know if you are aware, it's in chaos right now. And it's because the dismantling is occurring. And through this dismantling, a new world is being built. So we can't see this yet. Some of us can see this. Not everyone can see this yet, but we will soon. Bluebird wants you to know that your hopes and dreams are going to come true. Never give up on that vision that you have for your life or for the things that you want, because they will manifest. And if you're the only person that believes that, then that's enough. And you have dragons on your side. My fourth dragon is Lavender Sun. Call her Lavender for short. So after I met my first 3 dragons, I was pretty much like, okay, universe, I am ready to meet more dragons. I'm starting to think, I think I have more than 3. And once these thoughts come to me, I know I'm getting them for a reason. So I know that they're trying to connect with me, or some form of energy is trying to connect with me. So I was walking my dog one day and I was like, I'm going to connect with my 4th dragon on this walk and I'm going to find out my dragon's name. And I was calling it a her because I already knew it was a girl. And I can't remember what I saw. Maybe I saw like a purple flower or something like that. And the name Lavender came to me. And then I said Lavender and then just Lavender Sun. And I was just like, done. That's my healing dragon. That is the dragon that assists me with my healings, my energy healings, my life's work. So I call Lavender Grandmother Dragon. She's the healer. That's her tagline. Energy is like lavender, light purple. Her color, the color of her energy. And then I have lavender in my aura. So I really connect with her that way too. And then same with strawberry. My aura colors are very strong on the lavender and magenta. So it just shows their influence, I think, in my auric field. And nicknames for Lavender are, I really only have a few. There's like Olivia, and Elizabeth is one that she has been connecting through lately. And then signs for her are the sun, a white owl, frogs, hummingbird, snake, because snakes shed skin. Lavender is helping to return me to a fully aligned state of divine health and radiant beauty. She assists in my healing and in my healing work of others. She helps to release stuck, stagnant mental and emotional energies. She facilitates healing processes. She's a really good dragon to call in if you're wanting to heal from something. She does encourage rest and relaxation and like timeouts for the soul, self-care. She helps to remove old, unaligned versions of self and introduces new ways of being that will better serve my purpose. She is just that loving. She's like that grandmother energy that now grandmothers come in many forms. But she's that grandmother that you go over and she's out cultivating her beautiful garden. She's one of those grandmothers that has turned her entire front yard and backyard into a garden. And that's what she does all day long, is she just waters and nurtures and watches her plants and her children, and they make her so happy. And this is what she does, and she's there to help heal and bring all of these plants and this garden to life. I picture Lavender with a lavender dragon body as a lavender dragon, lavender colored dragon, but her sun is a portal. Her heart center is just a giant radiant white light, like a source white light. And that's how she does her healing, through her heart center. My fifth dragon is Sparrow. Sparrow is quite a different energy than the previous four. He is that little brother energy. I call him the trickster. So he's all about change. He brings in quick, fast changes. And the thing is, when I first connected to Sparrow's energy, I was having a shit day. Like, just everything kept going wrong. And that's how I knew. I was like, man, I'm in an obstacle course of a day. Like, Spirit's taking me through an obstacle course today. And like, there are lessons to be learned amid all this. And I was aware of that. And I kept hearing the name Sparrow. I think I had heard it 3 or 4 times that day that I was having a shit day. And I was like, okay, Sparrow, you're my fifth dragon. I feel your presence. What is going on? And that was him telling me, like, this is the energy I bring. I bring in chaotic, crazy energy that you don't always want to deal with, but it still has to occur. Sparrow could be perceived as like, oh, why is Sparrow here? I don't want this energy around me today. I just want to have a really easy day. The little nugget of truth that Sparrow brings with him is that when you react to Sparrow's lessons with grace and you come out of them okay, and you've learned a lesson, then you're like, oh, like, that's why I went through it, because you learned something from it. And so he is really helpful in that way, that he makes quick, fast changes occur in your life for your highest growth, I guess is the best way to put it. So he's very protective, comes in fast and quick to remove you from energies that no longer serve you. He's very action oriented, fast changes, lightning speed, unexpected. It's actually order or realignment disguised as chaos. The goal is to align me with what I find to be most joyful. He clears these blocks with his realigning golden ray so that they no longer manifest in my abundant world. Always has my best interests in mind. Sees that bigger picture. These are some words that I wrote to describe his energy. Unsticks, moves, roars, barks, protects, change is imminent with if Sparrow has anything to do with it. Will come in to test me and shake shit up. Like a pestering little brother. I literally wrote that. But it's a fun energy, right? It's like the opposite of that calm, chill energy that you normally associate with like spiritual guides. His is an energy that you're like, what does Sparrow have in store? What ride is Sparrow going to take me on today? But it's always fun. And then I always come out like stronger at the end of it. So it's just nice seeing like warnings from him, because when I start to see his energy, I'm like, oh shit, something's going to happen. And then Either it happens in my world or the bigger picture, and it all just makes sense. But he's really good at just clearing those energies out of your way. I don't know if I showed you their cards, but that's Lavender's card and that's Sparrow's card. And they send me signs all the time, and I track them on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram to see all the crazy shit that I track on my stories, feel free. I will put the link right here, right there, to my Instagram. And just note that the O in soul is actually a 0. Okay? Starlit_soul, but the O is a 0. Follow me on Instagram for some crazy magical shit. Get ready to have your world turned upside down, though. Okay, so the 6th dragon is Inyz. She is my beautiful emerald dragon. I don't remember if I told you Sparrow's color was gold. I get so excited when I channel them that I'm just not thinking straight. So Inyz, her number is 6. She is emerald green, a very bright green, like that. The Empress energy in the tarot is really how I associate Inyz. Her nicknames are Izzy, Zoe, Raven. And her signs are unicorns, ravens, full moon, number 33. And I have the Lovers and the Empress cards in tarot. Now, her specialties and areas of interest is one of the things that she does is she helps to connect me to Mother Earth and to myself. And standing up for what I know in my heart is true for me, and just following my heart, just following whatever pulls at my heartstrings. She oversees all of that. She oversees magic, beauty, truth, purity, connecting me to the highest versions of myself. She helps to remove doubt, worry, and anxiety about my gifts and abilities. And she connects me really to nature spirits, fairies, elementals. She really has this fertile, nurturing earth energy that she brings. And she helps to assist also with my astral journeys, because she's just a very protective, loving, motherly energy to have around. Okay, this is her card. So the remaining 6 dragons, I met them all. I don't want to say I met them. I knew all their names before I knew they were names of my dragons, if that makes sense. So again, I just would see names over and over and over again and be like, okay, these are more dragons coming through. But the third set that came through are these 3 that I'm going to talk about next. So 7, 8, and 9, their names are very special to me. We have Edgar is number 7, Alma is number 8, and O'Hara is number 9. Now, when I was little, my dad owned, I don't even know if I was born yet. My dad once owned 3 houses in Toronto on streets called Edgar Ave, Alma Ave, and O'Hara Ave. And we lived on the house on Alma Ave in downtown Toronto. But I always remember my dad telling me about these houses and those 3 names sticking with me and saying, you know, Edgar, Alma, and O'Hara, and thinking, oh, I'm going to name my pets those one day, or like those are just really special names. And I like the history of that. Like my dad owned houses on them. And so one day I'm going to have pets and I'm going to name my pets these 3 names. And when I realized that I had more dragons that wanted to come in, these 3 names just came into my consciousness like that. And I was like, bam, those are my next 3 dragons. Like, so they essentially came in as one. All the other 3 introduced themselves separately. These 3 all came as like a package deal because I had already been aware of their 3 names, essentially. But we'll start with Edgar. So I call him Grandfather Dragon. He is the Beacon. Number 7, his color is sky blue. His nicknames are Edwin. There's another one that he goes by. Edmund. That's a big one. Ed, Ned, and Papa. His signs are moths, dragonflies, hummingbirds, lighthouses, and electricity. And his specialties and areas of interest, he assists with complete transmutation and transformation of old patterns, like ancestral patterns, like patterns that have been buried deep in your DNA or in your genes from prior lives, your energy, just whatever. He's an unconditional light energy, one who knows. He has lived many lives, and that's why he's so smart and wise, because he's had many lessons learned. Much wisdom has been accrued by Edgar. He encourages lightness of being. Now, despite all of these lived experiences, his energy is so light because he does not carry these experiences with him. He knows what he is. He is a being of light. He is a guide of light. But he still carries all this light wisdom with him. He encourages lightness of being and helps to implement changes regarding my diet and lifestyle for optimum divine function. This is literally what I wrote. He helps to nurture and engages my imagination. And you know what's funny is that when I received his name, like when I was like, Edgar, I don't want a dragon named Edgar because how am I going to connect with that name? Like, that's such a rare name. But I started seeing it everywhere, or I started seeing variations of Ed, the name Ed, everywhere. Like, that's what they do. Like, you don't think it's real, but the more you connect with them, the more that they are like, yeah, hello, you're the one calling us. And then you're like, oh shit, I called you here? Like, I am actually magic? And that's how you build belief. But he can be very quiet, communicating during quieter days or times of integration. He kind of brings like this wizard hermit energy with him, a wise sage with the curious, inviting mind of a young child. Like, it's all about balance, right? So although he's got this great grandfatherly energy, he's also got this childlike, youthful light energy that just fills him. Number 8, we have Alma. Now, I think of Alma and O'Hara as, they're my twin dragons. They're my twin ant dragons. So we have ant number 1 and ant number 2. No, ant number 1 and ant number 2. 1 and 2. And I kind of think of them as like the characters of the witches in Hocus Pocus. Like, not the one that was a bitch, but the 2 that were like kind of just like crazy and all over the place, like Sarah Jessica Parker and the other one. But that's the energy that I kind of feel, like just those crazy ants that you never know what they're up to. So, and like, even with that said, I have them both together here. Everyone else I introduced separately for the most part, and they wanted to come in together because they're twins. So we have Alma, we'll start with her. She is the rebirth specialist. She's my number 8 dragon. Her color is orange, and her nicknames are Mia. That's really what she goes by mostly. Her signs are elm tree, phoenix, butterfly, pearls. I also have horses and like the chariot energy in the tarot. And her specialties and areas of interest is she can help assist in spiritual surrender or recovery from like betrayal or heartbreak or just really intense things like that. Even your own betrayal, betraying yourself, living a life that doesn't truly make you joyful or something like that. That's what she assists with, is getting you out of those situations. So she assists in complete revitalization and regeneration of areas of your life that you no longer feel aligned with at all and you don't know your way out. She will come in to help you find your way out. And prepares me to be reunited, consciously connected with soul family, soulmates, awaited ones, etc. She assists in lightening up your being after times of heaviness or darkness. She is a seed of light, a very gentle, light, happy, like ha 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 energy. She tells me to dream the world into being through love. So we have Alma, who is the rebirth specialist, who I kind of think as like a doula, like a spiritual doula, like for manifesting new life from like our thoughts, from those creational realms, not the creational realm of your womb. And then, so O'Hara is the siren of song. So number 9, her color is violet or deep purple. Nicknames are Bunny, Songbird, Autumn, and Crystal. And signs are she speaks to me a lot through music. I connect with her when I am singing, drumming, or chanting. And then she also connects to the number 6. So she works with Alma to help me to let go and trust the rebirthing process of spirit. And she uses her voice and her song to heal, her soul song. Her song clears any and all obstructions to abundance, making it accessible to all as it is our birthright. She brings this excited, exuberant, energizing energy, almost orgasmic, transcendent of space and time. She's the mover and the shaker. Like, she's just always moving, dancing around and singing and just having an amazing time as a being of light, because that's what they do. She has a very youthful, imaginative energy. I wrote, she unchains and unbounds. She taps you into your limitless potential consciously. She is a passionate seductress, the singer and lover of songs. Yeah, and that is O'Hara. She's just so beautiful. I do think of like the movie The Sound of Music, like that Scarlett O'Hara type of energy. Very classic, like a ballroom dancer type of energy. Just very classic, elegant, but fun energy. Okay, so that is Alma and O'Hara. And then, okay, we made it now to my last 3 dragons. We're gonna get through this video, guys. We made it. Okay, so this summer when I was in the car and I had realized that I had 9 dragons, I was like asking myself, I'm like sitting in the front seat, literally on the way to my friend's cottage with her triplets in the back seat. And I'm like asking myself, I'm like, okay, I have 9 dragons. Is that all? Is there any more? And while I was contemplating, her 6-year-old son in the back seat says to me, "Hey, Heather, what's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3? And I'm like, 12. And then he went on, he was playing a game or something, and he went on with his game. And I got my sign. I have 12 dragons. And then their names came to me, and I just knew, again, I knew who they were because I had seen their names many times before in signs. And the first one was Honeybee. She is my dragon number 10. She is the big sister dragon. She is the sweet and graceful, esteem and self-confidence. She encourages self-care and sweet, loving behavior towards the self. She is the teacher of grace, a role model in grace. She shows me how to sweeten any situation with love and with tone. Tone is huge when communicating. She harmonizes situations to their sweetest potential. She flows in sweet, delicate ways in and out of my life experiences. And she opens me up to new ways of being and perceiving, which is really just how to live softer and sweeter and more gently in this world. So I love having Honey's energy around. Just that big sister dragon energy, that big sister that you can turn to when you have questions or when you have, a crush at school, you're feeling down on yourself, and she can help you see things in a different light, in a better light, so that you feel better about the situation and yourself. I love Honey. Wild Honey. Okay, and then dragon number 11 is Montana. And no, this is not because I was obsessed with Hannah Montana when I was younger, but she is a cousin dragon. She's a cousin of the original family here. I call her the tour guide. Him, her. Montana is like androgynous, goes by either or. So like the nicknames for Montana are Sam or Hannah. I know it's funny, Hannah Montana, haha, but it's literally a way that I connect with this energy. Mountains are really big for Montana. So some of the areas of interest that Montana helps me with, and again, Montana, the name came to me. I saw it so many times over the last year. And then when I was trying to think of what the names of my last 3 dragons were, Montana popped into my head, and that's how I knew. That happened with all three of these ones. So she assists with home and relaxation and finding the right places for me to live, dine, and be, expand, grow, learn, etc. And they help me to deal with more earthly, grounded matters, assist in setting up, designing new communities through skills and minimal resources, like the city planner. Just thinks of really efficient ways to do things. Montana scopes out the best landscape. They're like my realtor dragon. Even though I live with my parents, hey, I love it. They're gone right now. I have the house to myself. It's fine. I love living with my parents. So, but my realtor dragon in helps me scope out the route of my day, even like where do I want to go to eat? What grocery store am I going to hit up today? Just puts me in the right place at the right time. Montana is a bit of like that earth and fire energy, like a hot Montana desert, and heats up timelines. Heating up could also mean speeding up. And then in the speeding up, there's that like alignment and reharmonizing. Montana sends me a lot of messages through my daydreams and just signs that I see out in the world when I'm out and about. So beautiful, Montana. Thank you. And finally, Atlas. I love Atlas. I love them all. I love them all. And no, I don't have a favorite. I might have a favorite. Okay, so Atlas is number 12. He is Uncle Dragon. I think of him as like Uncle Jesse energy. But I call him the personal assistant. He's number 12. His color is teal. His nicknames are Jack, and I put Merlin too. Signs for him are wizards, foxes, and compass and maps. Some of his specialties and areas of interest: he helps me focus on my goals, helps me with my craft and anything that I'm learning, provides the resources I need to achieve my goals or to help me with what I'm learning. He can be a very romantic and charming dragon, and this is why I call him that like Uncle Jesse energy. Just that little sweet charmer, but a bit of a troublemaker, whereas Bluebird is not a troublemaker. Bluebird is like, I am here to serve you. He's service to others oriented. Atlas is a bit of a charmer, in like a troublemaker sense, where he kind of likes to stir shit up sometimes, but he's doing it from a very loving, almost like an intimate place. He helps me think on my feet and come up with quick solutions. Reminds me not to worry, all is going according to plan. Helps me stay neutral, calm, and centered. He's my little Atlas. I also connect with him through like globes, the earth, planet. Very earthy energy, but he loves to assist me in my day-to-day matters. Like I said, he's my personal assistant. So he just helps me get from point A to point B, what needs to be done today. We're not looking, at the bigger picture so much with Atlas. Atlas is helping me oversee the navigation of my day-to-day activities, whereas Mason is more helping to oversee the navigation of my long-term goals and activities. So yeah, you know how like in Tarot they have minor arcana and major arcana? It would be like Atlas is like a minor arcana energy and Mason is a major arcana energy. You'll only get that reference if you know Tarot. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope that I expanded your mind wide open and that you had fun with this video. And I am invoking right now through my intention that you watching this will start seeing signs and receiving signs from all of my 12 dragons. Quick Reiki to instill you with that intention. But thank you so much for joining me and my team of dragons. You will probably be hearing from them very soon. But I hope you have a lovely night, and I will see you all in my next video. Love and light.